Goodbye forever. Einstein theory of relativity freestyle. Science can only ascertain what is, but not what should be, and outside of its domain, value, judgments of all kinds remain necessary. If you've never done anything wrong, it's probably because you have never tried anything new. Result: every description of events in space involves the use of a rigid body to which such events have to be referred. The resultant relationship takes for granted that the laws of Euclidean geometry hold for distances of a distance being represented physically by means of convention of two marks on a rigid body silences the heart to scream of a struggle so violent in the early days of science between the views of Ptolemy and Copernicus would then be quite meaningless. Either CS coordinate system could be used with equal justification. The two sentences, the sun is at rest and the earth moves, or the sun moves and the earth is at rest, would simply mean two different conventions concerning two different CS of the actual objects of physical reality. Physical objects are north space, but these objects are spatially extended. Fundamental ideas play the most essential role in forming a physical theory. Books on physics are full of complicated mathematical formulas, but thoughts and ideas not formulate are the beginning of every physical theory. An observer who is sitting eccentrically on the disk K is sensible of a force which acts outwards in a radial direction, and which would be interpreted as an effect of inertia, centrifugal force, by an observer who was at rest with respect to original reference body K. But the observer on the disk may regard his disk as a reference body which is at rest on the basis of the general principle of relativity. He is justified in doing this, the force acting on himself and in fact on all other bodies which are at rest relative to the disk he regards as the effect of a gravitational field. But in gravitational fields there are no such things as rigid bodies with Euclidean properties. This thus the fictitious rigid body of reference is of no avail in the general theories of relativity. For the reason non-rigid reference bodies are used which are as a whole not only moving in any way whatsoever, but which also suffer alterations in form ad lib during their motion. Of a non-rigid reference body might appropriately be termed a reference mollusk. Let us imagine ourselves transferred to our old friend the railway carriage, which is traveling at a uniform rate as long as it is moving uniformly. The occupant of the carriage is not sensible of its motion, and it is for the reason that he can, without reluctance, interpret the facts of the case as indicating that the carriage is at rest, but the embankment in motion. Moreover, according to the special principle of relativity, this interpretation is quite justified also from a physical standpoint of view. He might also interpret his experience thus: my body of reference, the carriage, remains permanently at rest with reference to it. However, there exists during the period of application of the brakes a gravitational field which is directed forwards, and which is variable with respect to time. Under the influence of this field, the embankment, together with the earth, move non-uniformly in such a manner that their original velocity in the backward direction is continuously reduced. We thus obtain the following result: every description of events in space involves the use of a rigid body to which such events have to be referred. The result in relationship takes for granted that the laws of Euclidean geometry holds for distances, the distance being represented physically by means of the convention of two marks on a rigid body. The purpose of mechanics is to describe how bodies change their position in space with time. In gravitational fields, there are no such thing as rigid bodies with Euclidean properties. Thus, the fictitious rigid body of references of no avail in general relativity. You can only ride a bicycle if you are on top. Floppity ploppity plop. Never stops flippity floppity boo. Bibbity bobbity boo. Winnie the Pooh says, I am not speaking to you. What do you do? Says Winnie the Pooh. I'll chill in the mystery machine and smoke a doobie with Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, says Winnie the Pooh. How could you not like Winnie the Pooh? Two things. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. There's a spin. Biblical, miracle, spiritual. Biblical, miracle, spiritual. There's a spin infinical. Never stop infinito. Nikola Tesla spin a bubble bubble. There's a spin biblical genius of quotes. There's a spin genius of quotes all day and all night. What must be wrong with my head? Off, it just popped off again. Supercalifragisticexpialidocious, anti-establishmentarianism, infinitism of a meatism, Dr. Seussianism, orange giantism, anti-establishmentarian, supercalifragisticexpialidocious, ferocious giantism, slaying a syllabalism. What must be wrong with my head? Can never stop spitting and rapping again. Never stop spitting, and I am credited with being one of the hardest workers. Perhaps I am. If thought is the equivalent of labor, for I have devoted to it almost all of my waking hours. But if work is interpreted to me to be a definite performance in a specified time according to a rigid rule, then I may be the worst of idlers. There's a spitting rapper forever. I'm the forever genius rapper forever. What must be wrong with my head? There's a spitting until off it pops off again. I'll pop of my head again. There's a spitting off pop of my head. There's a spitting and rapping again. I am the genius of rap. What must be wrong with my head? Spitting never ending genius of rapping, the never ending spitting genius of rap. The forever spitting genius of rap. There's a spit until off pops my head again. Technical invention is akin to architecture, and the experts must in time come to the same conclusions I have reached long ago. Sooner or later, my power system will have to be adopted in its entirety. As so far as I am concerned, is as good as done. Never ending. What the result of these investigations will be, the future will tell. But whatever they may be, and to whatever this primitive may lead, I shall be sufficiently recompensed if later it will be admitted that I have contributed a share, however small, to the advancement of science. The evolution of electric power from the discovery of the Faraday in 1831 to the initial great installation of the Tesla polyphase system in 1896, and Niagara Falls is undoubtedly the most tremendous event in all engineering history. The scientific man does not aim at an immediate result. He does not expect that his advanced ideas will be readily taken up. His work is like that of a planter for the future. His duty is to lay foundation of those who are to come and point the way. Away goes the day. Frito lay. What must be? Don't you come take a ride with me? My brain is only a receiver in the universe. There is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. I have not penetrated into the secrets of this core, but I know that it exists. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Many generations pass, our machinery will be driven by a power obtainable at any point of the universe. Religion is simply an ideal, and it is an ideal force that tends to free the human being from material bonds. I do not believe that matter and energy are interchangeable any more than are the body and soul. There is just so much matter in the universe, and it cannot be destroyed. As I see life on this planet, there is no individuality. It may sound ridiculous to say so, but I believe each person is but a wave passing through space, ever changing from minute to minute as it travels along, finally someday just becoming dissolved. Every living being is an engine geared, to the wheelwork of the universe, though seemingly affected only by its immediate surrounding. The sphere of external influence extends to infinite distance. Throughout the infinite forces are in a perfect balance, and hence the energy of a single thought that determines the motion of the universe. One day man will connect his apparatus to the very wheel of work of the universe. This very forces that motivates the planets and their orbits and cause them to will rotate his own machinery. Ere many generations pass, our machinery will be driven by a power obtainable at any point of the universe. This idea is not novel. We find it in the delightful myth of Antitheus, who derives power from the earth. We find it among the subtle speculations of one of your splendid throughout space. There is energy. Is this energy static or kinetic? If static, our hopes are in vain. If kinetic, and this we know it is for certain, then it is a mere question of time when men will succeed in attaching their machinery to the very wheelwork of nature. Man, like the universe, is a machine. Nothing enters our minds or determines our actions, which is not directly or indirectly a response to stimuli beaten upon our sense organs from without. Even living being is an engine geared to the wheelwork of the universe. There's a spit and it hurts. Hurts. Haven't you heard the bird? The bird is the word. What is wrong with my head? Can I stop spitting? Genius, rapping again. Rapping like a genius from Venus again. And forever rapping like a genius from Venus again. What is wrong with my head? Never stop rapping like a genius from Venus again, echoing inside of my head again, till all pops off, I said, all pop of my head, all pop of my head. And I never stop hearing the echoing, rapping, speaking again, the echoing, rapping, speaking again. What must be wrong with my head? Can never stop hearing the echoing, rapping, speaking again until all pop of my head. All pop of my head, I said, and I hear the echoing speaking again. One, remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Two, never give up work. Work gives you meaning and purpose in life. Is empty without it free. If you are lucky enough to find love, remember it is there and don't throw it away. We are just an advanced breed of monkeys on a minor planet of a very average star, but we can understand the universe. That makes us something very special. Quiet people had the loudest minds. Life would be tragic if it weren't funny. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Even if there is only one possible unified theory, it is just a set of rules and equations. What is it that breathes fire into the equations and makes a universe? For them to describe the usual approach of science of constructing a mathematical model cannot answer the question of why there should be a universe for the model to describe. Why does the universe go to all the bother of existing? For millions of years, mankind lived just like animals, and something happened which unleashed the power of our imagination. We learned to talk and we learned to listen. Speech has allowed the communication of ideas, enabling human beings to work together to build the impossible. Mankind's greatest achievements have come about by talking, and its greatest failures by not talking. It doesn't have to be like this. Our greatest hopes could become reality in the future. With the technology at our disposal, the possibilities are unbounded. All we need to do is make sure we keep talking, speaking, rapping forever. What must be wrong in my head? My expectations were reduced to zero when I was when I was 21. Everything since then has been bonus, rapping tremendous. It surprises me how disinterested we are today about things like physics, space, the universe, and philosophy of our existence. Our purpose, our final destination is a crazy world out there. Be curious. I have noticed that even those who assert that everything is predestined and that we can change nothing about it still look both ways before they cross the street. The victim should have the right to end his life if he wants, but I think it would be a great mistake. However bad life may seem, there's always something you can do and succeed at. While there's life, there is hope. I believe the simplest explanation is there is no God. No one created the universe and no one directs our fate. This leads me to a profound realization that there probably is no heaven and no afterlife either. We have this one life to appreciate the grand design of the universe, and for that I am extremely grateful. One of the basic rules of the universe is that nothing is perfect. Perfection simply doesn't exist without imperfection. Neither you nor I would exist. The never ending, the forever rap genius from Venus Forever PhD. I'm the forever PhD rap genius, never ending rapping from Venus.